Special interview time and around the turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. This is Professor Keith, and we are here live in Quakertown with the 3WA Tag Team Champions, DawgNation. What's up, guys?
What's going on? How are you?
We are excellent. We are excited for tonight. We are excited for every 3WA show. So my first question to you guys is obvious. What made you fall in love with professional wrestling? Because every single wrestler that we've interviewed in the past almost 2 years now, we asked that question because somewhere along the lines, whether you were kids or you started following it, you started watching on TV, whatever it was, you fell in love with this business because you would not be here and you would not be in the ring doing what you do. So whichever one wants to go first, we'll start with Alan, I guess. What made you fall in love with professional wrestling?
I can say, speaking on both our behalves, that we both fell in love with it as kids. You know, neither of us are that old yet. I'm 24, he's 26. And we both got in as soon as we were like 17, 18 years old. We seeked out people to train us, and we just had a passion for it, and we've been doing it ever since. And, you know, when I was younger, I watched it with my grandma and stuff like that. And there were even times where I was like, you know, I'm not going to watch this anymore. And then I saw something that hooked me, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe I should watch this a little more. And then I was like, I'd like to try it.
Do you remember what hooked you?
Cesaro was always a big favorite of mine. At first, it was Jeff Hardy when I was young. Right, Jeff Hardy. But Cesaro, who's kind of the guy that brought me back into it, and I was like, man, this guy's a freaking beast. He's an ox. He can do anything. And just watching him, I was like, I got to try it at least once. I got to try to get in there and just see how it feels. And I thought I jumped from trampoline almost every day of my life when I was a kid, and I was like, it's going to feel like a trampoline. And I was like, oh, no, it doesn't. But I still stuck with it.
That first bump, it's like, oh, that wasn't what I thought.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, Sage, same question, brother.
Well, I'll go off first of what you said, like what hooked you. Mine's a little different. I know the specific moment, but when I was about in third grade, I was flipping through the channels, and this is back. I'm sure TV still have it, but TVs would have a set timer. And my dad would set a timer. He's like, you got an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it may be, to watch TV. When it shuts off, it's time to be there. Well, I was flipping through channels. Raw comes on, and either King or Jim Ross said something about a handicap match. And I'm a young kid. I'm very naive.
Right.
I don't know what that means. And my mind went to the idea of two handicapped people getting ready to fight. So
awesome.
Sick as it may be, I was like, I got to see that.
Right. Timer
went off. Turned the TV back on, trying to be a sneaky little shit. My dad comes up, and he's like, boy, I told you, when the TV's off, you're done. Turns it off. But let's say I went to bed at 9 o'clock. Raw around that time, I feel like started around 8. So right. I was like, oh, shit, like, I'll at least get to watch the first hour. And then I kept watching it, and eventually, because then I just got hooked. Don't even know what the handicap match was. I just know from then on, I was just like, man, I really, I fuck with wrestling. So, like, from there on, I just kept watching. My dad took notice to it and was like, you can stay up, watch it on Mondays, but once that's done, then, like, you're done. And then I just kept watching, and then as far as why I do it and why I fell in love with it is probably just the same way it made me feel like a kid. Like, whether that crowd hates me, and mostly here they hate me, and if I get my ass beat and that crowd gets that enjoyment out of it, I'm glad I can provide that for them and make them think, yeah, fuck that dude. I'm glad he just got his ass beat. So, like, I thrive off that. And to them, like, they might be having the time of their life, but maybe it's a little power thing, but I love having that type of power. Like, sometimes, like, when they react, I'm just like, yo, I got you in the palm of my hands.
Right.
You're doing exactly how I want you to react. So, like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I just love telling that story, and I love getting people, whether you're a kid or an adult, just giving you that feeling. That's definitely helped me take a step back from life and just get captured in the moment. Kind of a generic saying, but man, it's true. Like, wrestling has definitely allowed me to, escape reality sometimes, and I hope I can do that for some people.
That's awesome. Keith?
Yeah, did you guys know each other before you started wrestling, or what's kind of the genesis of the team? How do you guys come together?
I would say, and hopefully the cursing's all right. We like to curse.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. YouTube, and I'm rated.
I almost said something in response to him with the handicap match.
Our YouTube channel is rated TVMA on purpose.
Actually, the first time we ever met was at SWO. We ended up having a match together. It was a fatal four-way. And we were both young and different characters at that time, but we meshed right away. And then we were just talking about this the other weekend. He randomly messaged me out of the blue one day and was like, "Hey, there's this seminar going on at the Monster Factory. I know it's 3 hours away." Yep. And it was literally a snowstorm that was about to happen. And
shows were canceled left and right. We were on a show together. PPW was Power Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
And it canceled. And like you said, I just hit him up. And all we did is just have that one experience wrestling each other. But I was like, I mean, he seemed cool enough. We're both young and naive, so maybe he'd be willing to drive in this crazy-ass snowstorm with me.
Yep.
And when I messaged them, I was like, they're like, you get to stay at the Monster Factory. I'm like, all right, I guess we're sleeping inside a wrestling ring tonight. That was that.
That's basically what we did. We slept right on the mats on the floor, and yeah, we traveled 3 hours. My mom was pissed. Like I said, it was a snowstorm. She was like, I can't believe you're traveling like that, you know, in that kind of weather. And I was like, got to chase wrestling. So that's what we did. And, you know, we both had our singles runs for a long time, but then one day we were like, we lived together and we were like, you know, we should be partners. And DawgNation was born and been running strong ever since.
Yeah.
When you remember what year you guys wrestled together for the first time as DawgNation?
Yeah, I want to say it's 2019, and I might be off with the date, but I think it's March 31st. It's against the Stepdads in True Wrestling.
That's my birthday.
It was WrestleMania weekend.
Right.
I think it had to be 34. Maybe it was 2019.
Okay.
Because I think 2020 is.
Yeah, 2020 was the one in the.
2019. No, I'm pretty sure.
Our first match, I'm pretty sure, was 2019, and we weren't DawgNation straight off the bat. We just were like, let's team up.
Right.
I was doing Master of Simplicity. He was doing Greatness at its Greatest for our monikers. And we kind of were going to throw something there together, and I was like,
you wasn't about to name
I just did the name for me. I was like, it just ain't meshing.
It was Simplicity at its greatest, and rightfully so. I don't know if I got that right on the date, though. I just know it was True Wrestling.
Yeah,
it might have been WrestleMania, or I might have went to WrestleMania that year, or something like that.
But DawgNation popped in my mind, and we have this happen all the time where we're kind of thinking the same thing, and I'm sitting there, DawgNation's literally on the tip of my tongue, I'm about to say it. And then he's like, what if we were DawgNation? I was like, it's meant to be.
That's it, man. Signs.
Call me DawgNation.
Yeah.
If you go on my Instagram, at Sage's Trash, there's a little plug for it. But
there you go.
There's a photo of me wishing him a happy birthday. And it says, birthday trash featuring DawgNation. But it's spelled D-O-G. Because that's what he used to call me. He would just randomly say DawgNation.
Right.
But, like, dog was always in our vocabulary. And then we were actually about to wrestle Hornswoggle for True Wrestling.
Wow.
He was tagging with one of their guys, and we were like, man, we should have a tag name by now. And we were fortunate enough to go over, and we were like, yeah, we need a tag name for sure. And since we were going over, and then they announced DawgNation. That was the first match as DawgNation.
Right.
Was against Hornswoggle.
Yep.
You know that for a fact.
That's cool. So let's backtrack just a second.
Sure.
Where did you train? Who trained you? Like, did you find a school? Did you train together? Did you train separately? Or did you train in two different places?
Yeah, we both had our separate training. I ended up finding a guy named Nick Taylor. He wrestles under the name Sickett still to this day. He wrestles in Maryland, and he's done a hell of a lot for me. And I literally met him in a show in Hanover, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It was my homecoming night for high school. Everybody was going to homecoming. I was like, I'm going to go to this wrestling show, find somebody to train him. And I sat there by myself, watched the whole show, and I ended up running into Nick's parents, who just happened to be at the show also, and they were talking to me, and they were like, yeah, we'll get you in touch with our son. And he came out real quick, and he was like, here's my phone number, give me a call, we train on Sundays. And I was like, okay. And then I remember I gave him a call one day. He said, come down. My dad drove me down there. And then eventually I was old enough to drive myself. So I was like, well, I'll just start going myself. You know, but it was so far the first time I was like, I want somebody to go along. And I trained there for close to a year before I ended up having my first match, but it ended up being on my 18th birthday,
Cool.
July 11th.
Cool.
And my trainer, he got all that for me. It was at that same promotion, Power Pro Wrestling.
PPW.
Yep.
All right, you said yours was longer.
Yeah, mine's a little longer. When I graduated high school, I would say at the end of the summer of 2014, I moved to Louisville, Kentucky by myself with my dog as well, if you want to count that. But I moved there by myself and kind of jumped into manhood, and I knew I wanted to train at Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW. And the big reason for that is Randy Orton is my all-time favorite wrestler, and I just didn't know as many options. Yeah, I did my research, but I was like, why not? Why not OVW? Randy did it. That's my hero. And I was like, I'll move down there for a year. And I'll jump into adulthood. I'll figure things out. I'll get a job. And sure enough, that's what I did. Then my lease was up, and then I was like, I'm going to move back. And then when I moved back, I wanted to find another place to train. And as far as that goes, we did that seminar, more or less, show with Monster Factory, and I was like, oh, this place is cool. We continued on our own path, doing our thing, car rides together, and then we did a Ring of Honor seminar together.
Ooh.
And then when we did the Ring of Honor seminar together, the ring actually broke the first day up during a drill 2 big men were doing it. And the ring broke, and then they transferred over to the Monster Factory for the next day. I went up to Danny Cage, who is the owner of the world's famous Monster Factory, and I went up to who is now Damian Priest. And I asked him about training here, and Danny said, you show up next weekend for the show, we'll get it started. And then I just started coming there almost every weekend and go back to OVW. My trainer there was the late Matt Capitelli, winner of Tough Enough with John Morrison.
Right.
So rest in peace to him. So
Yeah, man.
Those names I feel like doesn't get said enough.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just because he's probably the most talented guy that never got on national television.
Right.
On that
Great man. It's a shame that he had the brain tumor, which took him out of wrestling. But God rest his soul. He is a great human. And then Rip Rogers as well there for some time. And then at Monster Factory, I credit Danny, a little bit of QT Marshall. But most importantly, who I consider my mentor is Louise Damian Priest.
Right.
Fantastic mind for wrestling, and I couldn't be happier for him.
For where he is now.
Yes, it's just he deserves everything that he has. So, sorry, long answer.
No. The longer the better, bro.
I mean, I'm a student of the history of business and all that stuff. You're right off these names. I'm under yeah, because Rip's a great trainer, and Jim Ford and guys like that'll bring up. I feel like not a name that you won't hear from the younger set. They don't know who it is. They don't know that stuff. And I think that's what real changes the business right now. You guys don't bring too many guys just don't know their history, don't respect the history, don't go back and watch things. And it's obvious from the way you guys work and what you do. You guys do go back and watch things. Like something I noticed from the last show that I said to Alan, you guys came out, just those loud yellow jackets you have. Like, you guys do the little things to make sure that, we're pissing everybody off. We start. We've got them angry. We've got them against us.
I love
it. I will be pissed if they don't know I'm here. So
we want reactions when we come out there.
Oh yeah, and you get it.
Yep.
Some
awful shit out here sometimes. I may not say the best things, but it is what it is.
I mean, I know you've wrestled all over. You both used together and sometimes separately and things like that. But name some of the opponents that you've had both as a team and then separately that are in your minds you work the best with, or maybe not to disrespect everybody you've been in the ring with, but some of the opponents that you've had, either teams or singles, that you felt like when you were done you're like, man, I had great chemistry with that person or team, or I would love, if I could wrestle that guy every week I would. Is there anybody that springs to mind?
For me as a singles, back in the day, I know I always had great matches with the guy. Basically helped train me. His name was Michael Zamadio. He's got a gimmick where he's 2 people, and it's him and his manager. Lars Madison is his manager. But every time we get in the ring, I mean, he was always good. He's still good to this day. Everything he does is flawless, and we just have the best matches. And the most recent time, we literally wrestled in a match in Tennessee. We went down to Ricky Morton School.
Oh, wow.
They just threw us together, said you guys wrestle each other, and that was the first time we probably wrestled in like 2 years, and it felt like we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So against each other, you might be one of your best opponents would be each other, right?
Who? Me and
versus him. Yeah.
Honestly, our chemistry
Yeah,
together.
we had a few matches together, and
I'll be honest, like I think because our minds are the same, but our styles are different.
Right.
I feel like that is why we mesh so well.
Mhm.
I truly do think Alan is the yin to my yang, but when we collide together, I just don't think it mixes well. And I'm not saying the matches are horrible; they get through, but they aren't like what potentially you would have with Michaels.
Yep.
And like he just recently wrestled Michaels because I ended up getting hurt the show before. It was the first time that I ever pulled out of a show from getting injured. That's not to get off sidetracked.
No.
Just for anyone thinking, wait, DawgNation not tagging together.
Yeah,
That was why.
Yeah.
I just happened to get injured, but I still wanted my boy to do his thing.
Now, how about teams wise? Some of the teams you guys are wrestled.
Good. Don't forget to mention Chris Slade too. Yes,
oh yeah,
there
Chris
you go.
Slade. I did have some great singles matches with right toward the end of where Sage and I started tagging them. We did tag against them, Chris Slade and Van Williams. And that was it was a damn good match. But as far as teams go, I mean, we try to work with anybody. We try to mesh with anybody's style. Just last month and this month again, for sure we'll have a great match with Tony Cini and Suicide Myers.
Oh, yeah.
We clicked with them.
I've been looking forward to it.
Trust me,
You guys sold the show.
I'm not blowing smoke up either one of your asses when I say that was match of the night last month.
No, I appreciate
The crowd was into it the whole time. They, you know what I mean? You have the,
There was some kind of magic.
yeah, because you guys come out first and you get them all jacked up and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys get them all jacked up and then they see Suicide Myers, who's this monster. And my stepson's with me, my kids are with me. Say, who's that? And they get excited for that. And we've seen Tony. We love Tony. Tony's a good wrestler, great wrestler. And yeah, and oh yeah, I think absolutely the whole thing. Tony can work with anybody. I think so. The combination of you guys, and then you have that powerhouse of Suicide Myers. It just makes for such a great and entertaining match. It's a perfect storm for a great match. So that's the one I'm looking forward to. No disrespect to the rest of the roster if they watch this later, but
I don't care if I'm making it. I want people to feel that way, and I don't say it out of a disrespectful. I think we're great, and I will 100% think I'm great because of the people we train by and how. But I want people to feel that same way. I want them to be offended initially. Outdo me. I want the best for the product that we're on because then that only makes the rest of the locker room work harder. If someone takes offense to it, good. I hope you fucking do. You go out there next time and prove us wrong. Yeah,
right.
Prove us wrong.
Absolutely.
So I know some people might hate that attitude, but I mean it from a positive standpoint.
No.
Give these fans the money that they paid, make it worth it. So that's just me. So fuck you if you get offended.
No, I'll tell you this. I'm driving down here. It's about an hour ride for me to Quakertown, and on my way down, I said to my stepson, I'm like, he's 12, and I said, so you excited for tonight? His question was, is DawgNation wrestling? That was his question. I kid you not. That was his question. I'm like, yeah, they're wrestling. They are. They're defending their titles like they always do. All right, so yeah, go ahead, Keith. I'm talking too much.
No, I just love what you guys do. That last match was great. I agree with you, Sam. It is from the most positive standpoint. You got to believe in yourself to do this because if you don't believe in yourself, it's not going to last very long. And B, I think that is a good thing for everybody to be in a locker room challenging each other to do better.
I'm all about people having fun. I understand, like, some people don't do it nearly as much as us, and I understand, like, this might be the only place they wrestle, and that's perfectly fine. I hope they have a good time. I hope they enjoy themselves. But at the end of the day, give the fans the money's worth, like, straight up. So just give them that money's worth. Like I said, and me saying that offends you, fuck over.
Where are some of the places besides here that you've wrestled? I know that you guys wrestle all over PA, but you do branch out, right? You mentioned Tennessee. Where are some of the other places that you've wrestled?
Our main places right now, SWO, which is in Seven Valleys.
Seven Valleys.
Yep. I'm the unlimited heavyweight champion.
You are. Congrats on that.
Just won that last week. Thank you. And then True Wrestling, they're up in Berwick, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's the heavyweight champion up there.
Yeah.
And we watch each other's backs at both places, and it's awesome that we get to do tag matches all around. And other places, we go to New Jersey, we go.
Yeah, Sean. I mean, some places we wrestled were obviously SWO, home promotion, True, home promotion. Those are our two mainstays, but they just they give us that spotlight and help us out. Triple WA, we're tag team champions here.
You are.
Voltage, they recently just, I don't want to say signed us for some dates, but we came to an agreement as independent contractors, more or less.
Yes.
Like, we will do these dates, this how much, that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, what was the
we haven't wrestled too many places since the new year,
right?
But previously we've done like 1CW. We were tag team champions.
Sean Henderson's. We have some dates coming up for them. Great place. That's at the H2O Center. Matt Tremont's very thankful to work there.
Yep.
So my point is that to have you guys name these places was quite simple, which is it seems like you don't have trouble getting booked.
We're humbly, that's something to try to be very, very humble about. There might be times where I think, yeah, we should be on that effing show, like we're good.
Right.
And whether that's the confidence in me or not, like I'm still very thankful because at the end of the day, this is an art form and this is our chance to go perform. So thank you to those that give us the opportunity, and just as much as we do here, we don't bullshit. We give it our all and treat it like it is. Not the last show where we'll do, but like that mentality of give the fans their money for it.
Piggybacking off of that, you guys have aspirations to get signed by a major company such as AEW, Impact, WWE even?
I would say never. The safest, most political answer is never say never to anywhere.
Right.
Like, sure, we have goals in mind, and for real, like I said, I mean, big fan of the Young Bucks, and I definitely stand by what they say. Never say never in wrestling. You never know what could happen. You never know what could be the next spoon you're feeding off of, and who's helping you, and you're helping them. So, I mean, honestly, we would love to do work anywhere. We have some ideas of who we talked about, and that's not saying like, oh, it's guaranteed. We just have some places that we would like to reach out to, but
see if they'll give us an opportunity.
Yeah,
and that's all we can hope.
Simple as that. Someplace I would love to wrestle before my career ends, and this isn't put on anywhere else.
Right.
Was Ring of Honor, and sadly,
they're on hiatus
for now. And I hope they come back in those wrestlers. And I'm glad a lot of those wrestlers from there are getting work, like with Taven and Mike Bennett getting on Impact and all that stuff. Gresham getting to defend the title everywhere. But somewhere I would really love to wrestle at least once in our career would be New Japan. I just think it would be awesome to just experience wrestling out there, and what better company from watching the Young Bucks and then watching Time Splitters. And we were fortunate enough to, not to get too sidetracked, but to wrestle Alex Shelley, and then we talked about that with them. We tagged against Alex Shelley. So just moments like that make me want to. And then what I would say, Shelley didn't complain about us, gave us good critiques, and like thought like he knew the instant when him and Alan locked up and all that stuff. He's like, oh, they're gonna be fine. Like, so like just to hear that. Now I'm not saying like we're gonna blow the roof off the place, but we're gonna have to try. And I think we could hang with people. Like, and I truly believe that, and I would love to present that in New Japan at least once, whether we got signed or not. And they have New Japan Strong now, which is in America. I know Japan's still with COVID, and rightfully so. It's a pandemic for a reason. So.
Yeah, and listen, like Keith's been a fan of wrestling for over 30 years, longer than you guys have been alive. I've been a fan since I was 5, and I've seen everything from guys that people have never heard of to, I've been to 3 WrestleManias and things like that. So I've seen just about everybody that you can think of wrestle.
WrestleMania. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine. WrestleMania 15, which was in Philadelphia. WrestleMania 17, which was in Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
And then WrestleMania 29, which was in MetLife Stadium in Jersey.
That's awesome. Me
So
and,
those are the three.
Miami were there together.
Yeah, he told me that.
That's awesome.
That's cool. But I see from being a fan coming down here, my first 3WA event was the 40th anniversary show outside, like right in the heart of the pandemic, right? And you guys weren't there for that. But I started to become a fan of this coming down because I live about an hour away, and then from our show that we do, we love to support local wrestlers, and we love to support, like, help in any way we can them, whether they want to just advise, like, say they're older veteran guys who want to come on and give advice to the younger guys, or guys like yourselves who still have dreams and goals, which is, we've become a place by word of mouth for local wrestlers in Jersey, PA, New York, and we've even had guys from down south. We've had guys from across the pond in Switzerland. We even got as far as booking Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat, which was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and that was last year. My point is that having come into all these shows and kind of getting involved with 3WA, getting involved with Dino, and coming down and watching you guys wrestle, I believe that from the bottom of my heart, you guys could hang with any tag team in the world. And I mean that. I mean, if you guys go to New Japan, you guys can hang with those guys. If you guys go to AEW, I could see you guys against the Bucks. I could see you guys against FTR. I mean, oh my God, Jesus. You know what I mean? I really believe that, because, and I don't say that freely. I've just been a fan of this business for so damn long, and I've seen teams come and go, or even single guys come and go. You guys just have not only the in-ring skills, because you're always learning, right? You're always learning. You're always trying to get better, but you have an it factor that Paul Heyman usually, when he talks about a wrestler and he says you have that it factor, he's talking about guys like Jake the Snake Roberts. He's talking about guys like Razor Ramon, where people want to see that guy not just wrestle, but talk. You know what I mean? And these fans, when they react to you, I'm just sitting back and I'm watching them. Of course I'm watching you guys, but I'm watching them react. I'm watching the kids get pissed off. I'm watching the parents, tell the kids to calm down, and the kids get all agitated when you guys come out. You have something that just draws people in, and that can't be taught. That just happens. So call it ego, call it whatever you guys want to call it. But you guys, I'm not right, Keith? I'm not shooting, anything here. I'm not saying anything that you guys probably don't already know, which is you can wrestle anywhere you want. You know what I'm saying?
We like to think so. So, but there's always it's grateful and humbling that.
Well, of course.
Always room for improvement. Like just over the summer, I've arguably gotten the best shape I'd ever been in my opinion. But like, it's the idea of keeping on it, and
we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, like great respect to people that like we were just talking about it with Sonny Kiss the other day.
Cool.
He was my apologies. She was over, and she was over at our house, and just giving credit to people that just stay in shape year round. Like, for example, like whether it be Randy Orton, John Cena. Like
Randy's my age, and he looks like he's 25.
Yeah, like
Still.
just people that are just finding ways to stay in great physical shape all year round, and that comes on us. And yeah, I'm sure money helps because you can pay for your stuff to be made and stuff, but nothing's stopping me from doing it. I got a little caught up in Christmas, but I've already slimmed back down. Not to where I was over the summer, but definitely like things like that we just had to train on.
Yeah.
And even if it's simple things like tanning, and I know that might sound ridiculous.
No, but that's
it's,
right.
It's another part of the look. And we could definitely be better at social media. Like, I know I'm just firing ourselves right here, but I mean, besides that in-ring stuff, there's like other stuff we can definitely.
So much more that comes into this that we need to work on. The in-ring stuff, that's the best part is the in-ring, but the other stuff is what really gets our name out there, and we could be doing better at doing things like this. Taking the time to do these podcasts, and
Yeah.
getting our
So-
names spread out.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, for real, humbly, and thank you guys for saying that. And
Yes.
but my response is not to downplay what you said. It is more or less to keep myself level and humble. Don't get me wrong. When I come out here, I'm about to yell and tell people how great we fucking
Yeah,
are.
more about the bullying.
Yeah, but I mean, and, you know, when Sage is behind the curtain, I like to humble myself. Doesn't mean I'm a good person, but I do like to humble myself. But see what we can do better to hopefully get to that next step. Like I said, never say never. Anywhere like we get an opportunity, we're definitely gonna think about it. We'll, with the odds there, like make something out of it. We've been fortunate enough to talk and know some people that have been able to make it in this business, and they've helped us.
You're picking the right brains.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
And they've Alex Zane talking with them, like if you ever get an opportunity, it's like weigh out your options. And he bet on himself. From my understanding, he had 2 contract offers from other places, and then was weighing it on other places until they offered just to be safe. And I mean, sure as hell worked out for him. Shame with the budget cuts, but I mean, it's still making a great living, and rightfully so.
Right back at it.
Yeah, that's a hard working man too. So shout out to Alex Zane. He's always been nice enough to lend us, a helping hand and just talk to us and just told us, be smart, look at it as a business, because at the end of the day, it is. We have our fun when we have our fun, but if an opportunity ever comes, I mean, we'll be ready.
And I hope so. Keith, I got 2 more questions unless you have any. Okay. So these are my last 2 questions, guys. And first and foremost, before I get a chance, in case I forget, thank you very much for this. This is absolutely awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, and we're gonna share this out as far as our reach goes. But anyway, I got 2 questions. Number 1, if you guys could book DawgNation against any tag team alive or dead or still together or still wrestling out there, or maybe even one that wrestles now, who would that be and why?
You want me to go first?
Is it 2 different answers?
Well, no, I just got tons of answers because I just want to wrestle. But,
Yeah, there's so many teams.
I'll go first.
Top 3 then.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I just looked it up. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
The one, a dream match I do have for us, and it's just a nostalgia factor. And if anyone can make this happen, that listens to this.
I already know.
I want to go against Carlito and Chris Masters.
Wow.
Because they were tagging. Not when I first started wrestling, but I just remember WrestleMania 22, Big Show Kane versus Carlito and Chris Masters. I'm gonna break that master lock, I'll get that. I mean, I spit in people's faces over here.
Yep.
Maybe I seal the apple. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to wrestle Carlito and Chris Masters. Young Bucks to show that we can, hang with arguably the best. Of course, FTR.
They can teach us, so much. That was going to be my first FTR because they're the best team that I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be the best, you got to wrestle the best.
Yeah, you got to learn from them.
Shelly and Saban. Why wouldn't? Because we already wrestled Shelly, and I felt like we did good. So why not with another? I know they don't really tag much anymore, but if there was ever an opportunity, and or Kushida, but Kushida's doing things on his own as well.
Right.
As far as anyone else goes that is like specifically a tag or did tag, I don't know. Any formation of the current Bullet Club. I love Jay White, so like I would love to wrestle Jay White against anyone else. Yeah, as far as like big names or dream matches, for me, that's all I think of. I mean, I can name, but
there's
how about singles?
out there.
Singles.
Because to me, like the first name that pops in my head for you is Randy Orton. Huh? You got teams?
Other than FTR, I mean, not really. I'm down to wrestle anybody. I like when we get to wrestle new people, but also I like when we get to wrestle.
Oh, duh! Freaking Breeze Dog.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
And
You did. I saw that. I watched it on YouTube.
I would love for
somebody's got to award him back.
Dirty Dango.
Hey, all respect to him though. That man listened to a podcast of his own, and I guess he's in real estate thanks to Dongo. Got him in there, and the man ain't got to take bookings besides like signing. So hey,
And he also runs a school.
if he gets he gets to rest his body or whatever, kudos to him. So good for him.
Oh yeah, I mean 110%.
But no, I get what you're saying. I wish if he did, I would love to. I think it could happen. That's true. But I I'm not gonna tell Sean how to spend his money. But he's very kind to Alan and I. So Sean, if you're listening to this, we appreciate you so much. Freaking had Dongo 1 week, Alan out there managing him, and 2 weeks later, literally got Alex Shelley together.
That's
so
awesome.
it's beautiful.
And that's the same place we wrestled before, so I was our.
Yeah. Sean has been super kind to us, like above and beyond. The night we wrestled Slaughter was in the same match as Rhino did too.
Yeah.
Like just very, very grateful for that man.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, and I'd love to just wrestle a local indie talent. Like, I mean, we wrestled against Bro Keller and Action Andretti, just 2 athletic people, friends with Keller, like just things like that. Like just people that we know can go or whatever. We wrestled Cody Rose and Greg, and they haven't been in the business nearly as long as us, and that's fine. But we train with them, so to have that match with them, and then Greg come back, pull behind the curtain and say, in his opinion, the best match he's had yet.
That's
I
awesome.
take pride in that, and I felt like the crowd was there for them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, as much as we want to take, we do like to help. But I mean, we do find ourselves being like, we just want more and more knowledge, because that really is how you learn. Like Shelley getting to talk with us after, Dongo getting to talk to me and say some saying, and Slago, Rhino came on to us after that. So. Sorry, I know it's super long.
No, man, no.
But
we're good. It's cool.
I mean, singles. I mean, as anyone, as long as I'm by his side, and then vice versa, because I like sharing those moments.
What's the first thing that pops into your head about somebody like you could wrestle, like you could possibly wrestle, like down the road that it's a personal goal of yours?
I wouldn't say it's a personal goal, but I mean, obviously, like I said, I'd be my 2 favorites, Jeff Hardy or Cesaro.
Wrestle Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. Literally.
I'd pay for that. Hell,
I
did.
Hardy Boys would be dope too.
Oh,
Boys.
damn.
When I
There's a name.
Actually worked for WWE, I literally saw Cesaro and Sheamus wrestle the Hardy Boys. So I got to see Jeff Hardy and Cesaro sitting there and catering and playing the match. And I was like, that's pretty cool to see my 2 favorites doing something like that. So, I mean, it'd be a pleasure to be in the ring with any of those types of guys. But really, I look forward to every wrestling match I have.
Awesome. Last question, guys. And we do this to every interview. We're going to flip the script. You're going to ask us a question. If you could ask us anything, if you want, otherwise you can tell us to fuck off. But if there's a question that you'd like to ask us, what would that be?
I mean, I guess my question for you guys, because I would say, why is DawgNation your favorite tag team of all time? But I mean, you've already gassed us up, so
I didn't say you were the favorite of all time.
All right, relax. We know the truth.
Might be in the,
you don't want to just
might be in the top 5.
you don't want to upset any more people in the back.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But
Hear that, Cage?
What's your favorite DawgNation match that you guys can recall?
Well, I mean, you guys had great chemistry with Suicide Myers and Tony Cini, but I feel like when you actually won the tag titles, the reaction, like the match itself was great, but your reaction when you captured them, like, was like bewilderment, shock. You're like, oh my god, like his eyes were like bugging out of his head.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Oh my god, it was right. They beat you from pillar to post, and at the end you pulled it out, and then you're holding the titles. You're like, oh my god, we did it. You know what I mean? That match itself was my favorite. Keith, you got a favorite of theirs or no?
I mean, I think that one might be my favorite overall because the work was great, and then after the fact, the present.
Like, I was booing them, but I was rooting for them to win the title.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to be a dick, and I was trying to be.
I was saying to JT earlier,
kayfabe about it.
Kids here, so I always try to be a little riled up, so they get riled up.
Yeah.
I know she gets riled up when you guys come out, so then it's a little extra. I'm like, yeah, I know she's really hyped to boo you guys, so I'll get a little extra. But I mean, yeah, that was so great, and especially the way it went down too. I thought the finish was perfect for you guys, where you got to have that little bit of like, we won, but now everybody can come back and go, they didn't really win. They're not worthy. They just got it because he turned on his partner. You know,
But month in and month out, they keep coming out here and they keep defending the damn title. So whatever, that's the way it goes. Awesome. All right, guys, we want to appreciate DawgNation, Sage Matthews, Alan Claybaugh, the 3WA Tag Team Champions, Keith. And we're going to see everybody next time on Around the Turbo. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you so much.